right? Now, so now, yeah, it's 80% banter talk. Like in live webinars, 80% we're talking about like our lives or the gym or like some random stuff, right? And when a trade comes, we know, okay, like, you know what, the trade is here, so this is what we're doing, or this is what we're planning to do, right? Because that's just trading. The webinar start tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow New York session. Yeah, I'm gonna have all these questions about webinars at the very, very end. I have a whole slide for this. So next thing we have analysis paralysis. Right? Why do you have analysis paralysis? It's because it all comes down to like how confident you are with a water bottle. Okay. Like how confident you really are in your trade. I know for a fact that once you enter a trade, right? If that trade is a bad trade, you will know right off the bat, hey man, this is a bad trade. You will know from the get-go that you should not be in this trade. I guarantee you that 90% people know from the get-go that this is a bad trade and they shouldn't be in this trade. When you know you shouldn't be in that trade, and if you lose that trade, what happens to your confidence? You lose your confidence because you weren't confident from the get-go. Why? Because maybe you didn't follow your plan. Or maybe you didn't wait for price to come to a level where you wanted it to come. Or maybe you didn't wait for that retest. Right? Like, I know a lot of times what happens is that price is going to break and it's going to seem like it's doing a retest. Now that's very, very important, that it's going to seem like it, right? Because like our brains are wired very, very weird, right? Like your brain is going to show you things which you want to see, right? But it's never going to show you things which you need to see. That's going to come afterwards, because when price breaks out, it seems to do a retest. You take a trade, all of a sudden you go in a drawdown, right? And it goes to the level where you wanted it to go, right? And what happens now? You're in a drawdown. You don't take the trade you had to take or you needed to take, because you're already in a trade that you wanted to take. And you don't take an entry, you hold that drawdown, and the price comes down, you go in small profits, you close. Only because you didn't wait for that moment. Right? I always tell people that, hey, if you see price doing something and if you feel like you have waited enough, wait a little longer, right? Wait one more candle, because that one more candle might save you a drawdown. And that has happened to me a lot of times, right? Sometimes I feel like I waited long enough, but I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to wait just a little bit more waiting. Because maybe if I wait a little bit more, maybe I won't have a drawdown. Or hey, what's the worst that's going to happen? You missed the trade, right? What's the advantage of missing a trade? You're not risking money. Being in cash is good trading. That you're in cash, you didn't lose money. Yeah, I always wait for another candle. Always just another candle, right? Just like when you are in profits and you say, okay, like, you know what? Next candle, I'm going to close. Next candle is going to fill the wick and I'm going to close. Or next candle is going to go to the zone and I'm going to close. Why don't we do the same thing when we're trying to enter the trades? Right? I always wait for that next candle. I'm going to wait one more candle. And that's going to help you with your confidence, right? So, like another thing which happens with analysis paralysis is that are you following your trading plan, right? Like, is this trade according to your trading time, right? Is this trade according to the plan you have put out in your trading plan, right? So you need to constantly keep asking these questions, right? Because if you enter a trade and you instantly regret it, man, that's a bad trade. That's a bad decision. And if you are making forex your only income, you have a family to support from forex, man, you're screwing everyone up, right? Because you're not following your plan, you're taking a trade out of your trading time, and you're instantly regretting that trade. And then what happens? Your confidence goes down, your ego takes a kick in the balls, and you're not confident at all. You have no willpower to take another trade. Even if price comes to that prime level, you're not going to take that trade. Why? Because you've taken some losses because you didn't follow your plan. Everyone can trade. Everyone in this group can give me a profitable trade. Tomorrow, if I say, hey, I'm going to give you $10 for everyone who gives me a profitable trade, everyone can do that. But no one can, I wouldn't say no one, but 80% of the people cannot replicate that. That's the thing. So you need to be able to replicate that winning trade. So when you can replicate that, that's when you start becoming profitable. And I know there are a lot of trolls here and they want to say what they say, but this is the truth, right? When you cannot follow your trading plan, you will say things like, oh, the market is manipulated, you cannot win at forex, you cannot make money, this and that. I mean, no, that's the same thing as, oh man, like, you know what, I work out every day, I try to eat clean, but I can't have abs. Why? Because you don't try to eat clean. That's why you don't have abs. Same thing here with trading. Discipline. Need to have discipline. If you want to lose weight, you have to eat vegetables. You have to cut carbs. You have to eat more protein. You have to eat good fats. That's when you will get abs. Yeah, less pizza. Same thing with trading. You have to look at the things which are working for you, and you need to be able to replicate those things. For me, breakout, retest works well. I can make money with that all day. Right? For some, they use Fibonacci's. I know a guy, he uses harmonics, and that's all he does. He just does that. He takes 2 trades out of the week. Just does that. He's profitable. Right? Now, he won't be profitable if he starts to use breakout and retest, because he doesn't do that. Right? All it takes time. Guys like Javier, me, Ted, Jacob, Alex. We have 3 Alexes, right? We're not gurus, right? We're not like we may seem like, okay, like, you know, we know our shit, but like the only thing we know, yeah, it's been recorded. The only thing we know is that if we follow this same steps every day, in the long run, we're going to be profitable. And as mentors, we're just coaches. We're just coaches, because every person is different, just like every trade is different. Everyone's going to see the same trade, mind you. Everyone's going to see the same trade. Everyone's going to see, okay, prices either bullish or bearish, but not everyone is going to see the same entry. That's very important. That's a very important concept, right? No one's going to have the same entry. Nobody. Everyone will have a different entry. Yep, it's this webinar is recorded. Okay, so when you're trying to take entries, you're constantly thinking, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? Right? What's the worst that's going to happen? Or how many times has this worked before? Right? I've seen these people on Instagram with these break and retest trades. Oh, it has to work. Okay, well, if it works, let me use my risk. Right? How much risk am I willing to put? I'm going to put, let's say, 2%. I'm going to risk 2%. Because that's the worst that's going to happen. Right? If I risk 2%, I'm going to lose 2%. That's the worst that's going to happen. I'm not going to blow my account. And that's going to lead you? Now, when you clearly understand that, okay, I have accepted this 2% loss before I took the trade, you're going to take action. Right? And that's when profitability is going to come in. That's when your confidence is going to go up. When you start taking action. When you start accepting, okay, I have 2% on the line, and that is all I have on the line. And I have seen this work before. I have seen pictures, I have seen diagrams of this working before. So even if it doesn't work, it's maybe that 1 or 2 times it won't work. But overall, it does work. So I'm going to risk 2%. And that's when your confidence is going to grow, your ego is going to grow, and you're going to start to identify, okay, you know what, maybe I just have to do this, and all I have to do is just wait. And that's how you get over your analysis paralysis. I'm sure everyone's taking notes here on their trading plans. I know I am. I'm writing down some notes here. All right. Let's do it to the next slide. Okay. Building a plan, right? This is where, how long do you think it could take to be consistently profitable? Okay. Someone had a question, how long it takes to be consistently profitable. I have seen people getting profitable in a week. I have seen people getting profitable in a month and in a year. I know someone who's been trading for 3 years and he's just starting to get profitable. So it depends from person to person. But it also depends on how disciplined you are. That's the number one thing, how disciplined you are. If you're taking 3 trades out of the week and you're winning 2 trades, you're profitable. That's it, you're a profitable trader. Yeah, it took Alex 2.5 years. He only used to trade 1 trade a day, 1 trade in Asian session, that's it. You know? So building a trading plan. Now, if you've written down your trading plan, this is what your trading plan should consist of. What is your risk for the day? What's your risk for the day? You should know this. When you come to trading next week or tomorrow or whatever, you should always come to the day, okay, this is what I'm gonna risk for today. 2%, 5%, if it's a dollar amount, let's say $10, $50, whatever. You're coming with that risk. The next you're coming to the table with is that the number of trades you're taking, right? What are the number of trades you're going to take? Will it be 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades? How many trades? If you're taking 2 trades and your total risk for the day is 2%, then maybe each of those trades is going to be 1% risk. Right? So number of trades. So you have a risk per day and you have number of trades. Perfect. Your trading plan, now you're making a trading plan, right? And then you're looking at currency pairs and times and day of session. What currency pair you're choosing? Let's say you're choosing USD/JPY. Perfect. You choose USD/JPY and you're going to take maybe 1 trade a day on USD/JPY and your risk is going to be 2% a day, right? So now what time of the day are you going to trade USD/JPY? Will it going to be in Asian session or is that going to be in New York session or even London session, right? You have to choose that time. Like, it's not hard, right? It's not hard. It's pretty easy. You choose, and once you choose that time, what happens after you choose that time? Do you trade just from the get-go? No. You observe and you plan. It's just like you're hunting. Just like you're a lion in the jungle, right? Like you're hunting, you're observing your prey. And once you observe for a little while, you start to see inconsistencies or you start to see weaknesses. And once you see that weakness, you take advantage of that weakness. You don't let the prey take advantage of you. Just like you don't let the market take advantage of you, because the market knows you're greedy. The market knows you're going to do stupid things. So you don't let the market take advantage of you. Yeah, push and grabs. Like when you start observing a specific time every day, you start to notice patterns. You start to notice moves, momentum, pushes, what Alex is saying. And once you start noticing that, a week later, you start planning. You're like, hey, like, you know what? I've seen this happen every day. So today, I'm going to trade it. And when I trade it, I'm going to win. And I'm going to take that all home, and then that'll be my trade for the day. And man, I honestly, bro, like it's such a great feeling when you plan and when you take the trades and you win the trade. It's the best feeling in the world because you know you analyzed, you've seen it happen, and it worked for you. If it worked once, it can work 1,000 more times. Trust me. Trust me, it will. Right? It will work 1,000 more times. And that leads me into journaling. Like, how are you journaling your trades? Right? How are you journaling? Winning or losses? Now, here's the funny part. Okay? Now, let me explain this. I've seen this over the past year. The funny part is when people take losses, they will look at the market, right? They will do all these crazy analysis and they will say, oh, why did I take a loss and this and that? They'll do all sorts of analysis and they'll come up with a million different reasons why they took that loss, right? But when you win a trade, no one does more analysis, right? No one will go to the market and say, oh, how did I win this trade? How did this happen? Right? No one does that. So it's very important when you win or lose a trade, you need to look at, okay, why did this happen? How could I have made this better? Right? How could I have made sure that my position, that I would have had a better position? Was it the time of the market? Did I wait for candle to close? Because like most of the okay, so I'll give you an example. Most of the inquiries I get from people is that, hey man, like I lost this trade. I always ask them, did you wait for a candle to close? They said, no, the 1 hour candle was still open. There's your answer. You don't wait for higher time frame candles to close. You have to wait for candles to close. There's no other way. Right? If you're not waiting for candles to close, then you're going to have analysis paralysis. It's simple as that. Right? And all that explanation comes from awesome at 3 a.m. in Brisbane. Oh, yeah. Aussie Damien, have a good night, brother. Thank you for joining. I know we are a little bit late. This went on longer than expected, but the recording will be here in the drive for you when you wake up tomorrow. Right? So when you're following your plan and you're documenting your winning and losses, right? You're getting better, right? And that helps, man. Journaling just helps. When you're taking, because like when I take trades, I always say, okay, if I take 5 trades, I'll have to journal all those 5 trades. That's a long work, man. That's a lot of work. So try to stick to like 1 or 2 good trades. So that I only have to journal 1 or 2 trades. And that's it. And all that comes with observing and planning, right? So let's go to the next slide. Hey, Alex. You want to say a few words after we're done? Like we only have like, I think 2 or 3 more slides left to go. Okay. Alex is going to be here soon. Okay. If he's not, well, whatever. So now we've gone through market maker, drop some gems. Yeah, sure. So we're going to have this slide. There's going to be another slide. Then we're going to have some IQ questions. And then, like, we can have an open mic. So now you have a plan, right? You have a plan and you know that, okay, this crazy guy told me to like, make a plan and pick a time and observe the charts at that time. And then I'm going to magically learn how to trade. Oh yeah. Okay, perfect. But how will it work? Right? How can this madness work? It's going to work when you observe and plan for a certain amount of time and then you start to take action. Right? Because when you start to take action, you will start to see things going your way. If they don't, I'm here. There are a lot of other mentors here. You can reach out to them. You can reach out to me. And like everyone is in this space to help each other, right? We're here to grow. It's not like a one-time thing. This webinar is not like a one-time thing. It's not like we're going to say, hey, like, you know what, we're done. This is ongoing help, right? The reason I shut down Instagram is because now I have a lot of people here. And I think I have enough people to talk to so I can focus my attention on everyone over here, right? Did you talk about people who have a 40-hour work week job and can implement trading lifestyle? Yeah, Yeah, so if you have a 40-hour work week job, you're increasing your hours to 80 hours or maybe 60, 70 hours, right? Because now those extra hours are going towards your part-time job. And what's your part-time job? Trading. Guess what next point is? It's like a job, right? It's like a job. Just like when you, I remember when I had my first job was actually in Canada when I moved here when I was 24. That was my first job I had ever in my life. And I know that I was really excited. You know, it was a call center. So I went there and we had to train for a week, right? For a week we had to train and I just couldn't wait to get on the phones and start dialing and, you know, like talking to people. I just couldn't wait. But that was on the job training. I had to go through that training to get to making the real money, right? So trading, when you have a plan laid out and when you're looking at the market, that's training. You're getting trained on the job, right? Every day when I say, okay, like, you know what, there was no trade for me to take, that's a good day for me because I didn't lose money, right? I'm in money. I didn't lose money. Now that's training as well. Because when you start treating trading as a job, consciously, you know that, okay, you know what, there's going to be some days when there will be no trades. Like hell, man, like sometimes we do live webinars and we don't take a trade in that live webinar. And some people think that, oh, you know what, this live webinar, they didn't take a trade, well, you know, this and that. But hey, if there's no trade, there's no trade. It's a business. You need to treat it as one, right? And you need to follow your risk to stay in the game. Because if you're not following your risk, man, you're designed for disaster. That's it. If you're taking 2% per day, and if you lose that once, you lose that twice, you lose that thrice, what happens? 3%, 6%, you're down. Right? And if you follow your plan, you're gonna get something like this. I live by this now. Now I live by this. That if I take 2 trades or 3 trades, and if first trade is a winner, I stop. I may not take another trade. But if 2 trades are a winner and 1 is a loss, it's over. Like, you know, like that's it. Because like every time you take a trade, you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk to lose. Right? And when you lose, it's really important to treat them as lessons. Right? Like I know Brian touched upon this, Alex touched upon this, the other Alex touched upon this. I know Javier also mentions this, the African Alex, 46 God, he mentions this, Ted mentions this a lot, that every loss is a lesson. That's why they say in life, when someone screws you over, or when someone fucks you up, that's life lesson. Right? Like if you know that you're not supposed to talk shit to a bouncer in a club because you're gonna get beat up. So you don't do that because it's a bad risk. Same thing here. You learn that as a lesson. When you make a mistake and market hands it to you, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do that again. If you traded news before and the news screwed you over once, you try it again, it's going to screw you over again. Until you want to just say, hey, like, you know what? I've had enough. Right? And the last thing is that you really don't want to be a little bitch. That's why we say, like, you know what? You have a plan. You need to follow your plan. Because everyone, when they design a plan, that plan is designed to make you win. If you don't follow it, you're always going to lose. Trust me, guys. Trust me. Like a lot of people send me their analysis and they say, hey, why did I lose? Just because you didn't follow your plan, what you set out to. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next slide over here. I think next slide is for the live webinars, and then we have an IQ test. Okay. We have live webinars. They are on New York session and Asian session Monday to Friday. Sundays we don't have them because Sundays is basically family day for people, so we don't really we don't really do them, like most people are busy, right? So live webinars, there's a lot of misconception, right? Like I've had it from a community that during live webinars, people are trying to mirror the trades, which like sometimes I'll call out a trade, Alex will call out a trade, or Brian, right? So they take them as a signal, right? Their live webinars are mostly meant to share information, to share analysis. It's a great learning tool, right? Like last week, I learned something about USD ZAR because someone was talking about it, and we were watching, and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, this seems cool, but it's not like I'm going to go trade it, right? So it's all about asking the right questions, right? If you have an analysis and if you're looking to take an entry, speak it out. Just say, hey guys, this is what I see on USDJPY, and someone's going to answer you. Like someone's going to say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, this makes sense. Well, here, we'll take an entry with you, right? London Open, I'm sleeping on London Open, so I'm not sure. Like someone's going to have to take responsibility over London Open. It's 3 a.m. for me for London Open. Any advice on trading crypto? Don't trade crypto. That's the best advice. Can about signal learning too? I mean, if it's a mistake, we learn from this. Yeah, yeah, you can learn from it. You can learn from it, but I